Yeah, like I said, I actually said not learn from it, but it might be some repetitive stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So
Hey,
this is the sales coordinator and hire call on March 28th. And Jess and I just want to welcome you guys to the call, and thanks for taking the time out of your evening to join us. And we're just going to go over some quick tips tonight of how to organize your business and some steps that we think will help you achieve your next goals. And one of the things, Jess, I didn't tell you this earlier, but you'll appreciate this. One of the things I had talked to Ken and Kaylee about is a really cool new streamline, and this was at the Team Shining Star training. I don't know if anybody's tried it out yet, but it's called Cinch Post. Okay, so if you are on my team and you've been seeing my posts lately, even the ones there, my Cinch Post is posting while I am on this call. Okay, so if you got a reminder to be on the call and, hey, sales coordinator call starts in 10 minutes, I wasn't sitting here while on the call posting it. It posted it for me. So it's $10 a month, and it's called Cinch, like it's a cinch, C-H-I-N-C-H, post. And it's something that I sat down, I took about an hour last week, and I scheduled all of my posts for the entire month of April in 1 hour. Okay, and so my posts included the 10-day shred, which I think we should also go over on this phone call, actually. Inviting people to do the 10-day shred with me, how after Easter, gosh, I feel like I ate so much and I'm 8 months pregnant. I want my six-pack back, but I'm going to start with the 10-day shred now and let the six-pack come later after I have the baby. But the Cinch Post thing, guys, if you have not tried it out, is absolutely outstanding, unbelievable, easiest thing I've ever done. In fact, I didn't even have my computer. I was able to set them all up through my iPad and my phone. So it's not an app, it's a website, but I had saved it to my home screen on my phone. Ken and Kaylee, have you guys tested that out at all? Did you guys like it? Do you have an opportunity to yet? No? Okay.
I haven't done it, but I want to. It's on my list for this week.
Yeah, so all of my posts that have appeared this week, I have not taken time out of my day to post at all. On the team page, my home page, or my personal training page, actually. So again, something that we learned at conference that I think everybody on this call, if you are a sales coordinator or hire, should be utilizing, because our time is valuable, right? If it took me 1 hour to put all these posts out for the entire month, that is valuable. So I was getting people, I had forgot that I scheduled a post to happen on Easter about the 10-day shred. Got 3 people interested. And I was with my family celebrating Easter.
So Lindsay, let me ask you this. Is it just for Facebook, or what you're saying it could do reminders? Like, is that on a particular group on Facebook or what?
So you can do groups on Facebook. You can do your home page, like your immediate profile. You can do any pages. Like I have a page called Mama's Weight Loss and Motivation page. So it can do a page, it can do a group. The only thing I haven't figured out is how to do it in the Messenger. But there might be a way. And I think it connects to Pinterest as well, which I'm not too familiar how to drum up business on Pinterest, but I'm willing to kind of take a look, especially this is $10 a month. So, I mean, totally worth my $10, because I don't know about you guys, but I'll get on Facebook to post something. And then I'm starting to look at somebody's cute baby, or someone got a puppy, or they moved, or whatever. And it gets so distracting, or I get interrupted because my child wants to eat or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So it was nice to sit down and take a solid hour of just like posting. Oh, I want to post on the 1st, and I want to post on this day and that day. So, and it just automatically does it, and you can schedule it out as far in advance as you want.
And is that pretty user-friendly on your phone?
Oh yeah. Like I said, I didn't even have my computer, so I was very impressed with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so like I've gone through and taken screenshots on Pinterest or screenshots on Facebook of things that I like, and then it's kind of like they get lost in my phone by the time I want to post them. Yep. But I didn't want to do 7 posts today to annoy people, so it's kind of cool to be able to do the screenshot, make it what I wanted, and post it that day, or go back through my phone for that matter and use ones that I hadn't used, and post them out for the entire month. So it was a lot of streamlining. I really liked it.
Awesome.
So
I'm checking it out.
yeah.
That's a big time suck.
Yeah, for sure. So that's something that I meant to tell you before, and I didn't get a chance to. So
Okay.
so
All right. So let's talk a little bit more about goal setting, you guys. We talked a little bit about it on the first call. Lindsay's Friday live meeting. They did some stuff on the 3x5 cards. I know if you're on my team, I asked you guys to show up with some 3x5 cards. And if that's if it works for you. So we talk about having your goal on one side and having what you need to do to make that goal happen on the other side. But what I kind of wanted to propose to you guys, and Chip, you can come in here, lean in, is that we have been, I don't know, for those of you guys who was at conference, there was this guy named our keynote speaker, Dr. Tim Elmore, and he has a series of these books called Habitudes, and we bought the whole series. And I'll finish a little bit with that too, Lindsay, what I talked about there. But just going into that, and it's all about leadership. So it's a leadership series of books, really powerful, based on images, and then going into, what it means and the concepts behind it. But in order for your goals to happen, so, we talk about the daily, the daily goals and the checkoff list to your weekly, to your monthly, to conference. So what is your goal? If you're an SC and you're on this call, first of all, let's talk about conference for a moment. It's always worth talking about conference. I just listened to a little bit of Lauren Slocum's call earlier, and she's like, invite now. Like, the people, for those of us who are at conference, we know the power of conference. Like, why wait till a month before St. Louis to start inviting? We have to get people committed now. And Chip and I talked about that a lot yesterday on our drive home, is starting to get those commitments now for conference, for St. Louis. So looking at to what goals you guys have for St. Louis, ours is a lofty one. So Chip, we want to fast track Chip to SSC. And that's going to take a lot of work. And we are starting softball season. He's the coach. It's a competitive.
And may I interject? Does everyone know who Lauren Slocum is? Or is that just a name to you guys? Do you know who she is? Raise your hand if you know who Lauren Slocum is. Okay, cool. Because she is like one of the most influential, positive people in our business that I can even put a name to. So very cool. And with that being said, since you're talking about Lauren Slocum, I just have something to share, just real quick, and then I am not going to interrupt. But check this out real quick. Oh, shoot. I don't know why it did that. 1 second. I thought it was all organized. Here we go. Since we're talking about Lauren Slocum, this is Lauren Slocum, and I asked her why. Well, you'll hear. Hear that? Can you hear it?
No.
Shoot. Okay, never mind. Okay, so you couldn't hear it. But I asked her and I videoed her, why is it that, the people who aren't at conference, why do they need to get to conference? And she had said, well, her and I ended up meeting at a conference. And actually, she's like shooting for 500 clubs. She's worth, I don't even know her net worth. But I ended up sharing a bed with her. She was my cuddle buddy. It was hysterical. And I didn't even know who she was or anything. But you get to meet some of the most powerful people in our business. And she was saying it would be really important. She lives in Las Vegas. If I had somebody in Las Vegas who needed to connect with somebody, since I don't live there, she'd be more than happy to help me get my team member started down in Las Vegas. So to be able to meet these people, that is so much more powerful than saying, oh, cool, I know you live in Vegas and I live in Colorado. Like, good luck. But no, there's a support system down there as well, of probably somebody who's more influential than I feel like I am at this point, So pretty cool that she's one of my buddies, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and so going back to setting goals for conference, and hopefully they're lofty goals, that there's some work required in order for them to happen. And for us, I said we are starting not only finishing up the school year with 2 kids, and one in middle school, one in elementary. It's a lot. Plus both of our jobs, a corporate job and personal training and teaching or whatever. Then softball season starts, and Chip is the coach of Brooklyn's competitive softball team, and we have a tournament almost every weekend through June. And so it's like, it could be our excuse, because we all have excuses that are worthy or valid. We could all have excuses, but the whole difference, right, between the motherly and fatherly love, right, is that we have to remember what our why is, and we go, what are we going to sacrifice? So this is what I propose to you guys, is for us, it's like, what 2 things can we name that we are going to sacrifice between now and St. Louis to make our goal and our dream come true? So if you guys have these cards, or if you have, your notebook next to you and you're taking notes or whatever, I want you to write that down, 2 sacrifices. And for us, and
write your goal on one side, and the other side your sacrifices and what you're willing to do, what you need to do to get there. Right?
Yeah. So what's our first sacrifice? It's a big sacrifice.
She's quizzing me.
We are giving up television until St. Louis. I said, there's no Broncos playing. We could do this. We could do it. So television is something that helps Chip wind down after his...
Chip is not making eye contact with us anymore while you say this.
I have to tell you guys, this is the divine intervention, is our main TV broke, and like he went to fix it and wire it, and like sent a backwards whatever to the cable box and blew up all 3 cable boxes.
Well, I blew up the main ones.
Yeah, so we have 3 nice televisions, and none of them can get cable right now. And I'm like, I think that that is a divine intervention. So who has time for TV when you're trying to fast track to SSC, right? So anyway, that's one example, you guys. But for you, what does that look like? Like, the other thing is social. So if you know me at all, I'm a very social person. We are very social people. And we are basically, besides like a few exceptions that will come along the way, anything social is going to be revolved around Juice Plus. Juice Plus people, Juice Plus events, like that's going to be our social thing, to make it work for us, to get that goal. So those are our 2 sacrifices. And those are sacrifices, and it might hurt a little bit sometimes. It's okay, honey. But anyway, I just want to challenge you guys to write down those sacrifices. And again, if you're on this call, you're SC, you're going for those leadership levels, it should not be a question whether you come to conference. Should not be a question. Unless you're pushing out a baby, or someone just died significant. Yeah, baby.
Whoa.
We're talking major stuff, a sudden death, I don't know, major surgery. But like that, this is what we do. We have 2 conferences a year. This is what we do. It's not a question of whether or not we're going to conference. It's who we're taking with us. How many people are going to be with you in St. Louis? Now's the time to start promoting. So that's a mind shift, you guys. That's a mindset. And this is what we do. And if we, one of the things we talked about on the other call is, when people ask you, what do you do? What's your first response?
Well, and just to play off of your sacrifice thing, Jess, I mean, I can't tell you how important that piece of the puzzle actually is. Like, some people might think like, oh, giving up TV, how is that going to help you hit your goal or whatever? But I remember sitting down with Travis, and when we were shooting for NMD, I had said, like, look, things like this is going to be a huge push. I mean, as a team, we almost cleaned up 11,000 extra PVC in 1 month. 11,000. I mean, that's a lot of points. And so I told Travis, every spare minute, like Juice Plus has to be my number one priority if we're hitting this for the Nashville conference, like period. So he had to be 100% completely on board, engaged. You know, we have an 18-month-old. She was probably 15 months at the time, right? You know, he was going to be bathing her, putting her to bed, brushing her teeth, feeding her, you know, and helping me with that so that I could be out at Juice Plus events and talking to customers and on the phone. And I told him, like, 11,000 PVC, people don't hit NMD in a year and a half for a reason. It's insane. And so our lives are going to be insane. Are you okay with that? You know, and I needed 100% complete support from him in doing that. And so we had to give up, like, us time. We had to get, you know what I mean? But look at what it's added value in the long run. So to give something up for a short duration so that you're able to, you know, go on your boat and extend your spring break 2 weeks, and to potentially say that you don't want to be in Colorado over the winter when you're empty nesters, like, that's a huge deal to give up TV for a little bit so that you can potentially have a winter home. I mean, these goals are amazing. So to give up a little bit here and there really ends up adding up, guys.
Isn't that a fun goal? That Chip actually, he's like, you know, it would be awesome if we never had to winterize our boat. And I was like, yes, I'm in.
I love it.
Because it's so sad when it's winterized and sitting there.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool. So then you were going on to, what is your title? Like, when people ask you, what do you do? Instead of saying massage therapist, instead of saying trainer, instead of saying firefighter, what is it that you do, Juice Plus wise, to intrigue people enough to ask questions about it? So one of the things that should roll right off your tongue is what you do with Juice Plus, and you should get comfortable with that. So that's the other thing that we want you to write down, have in front of you, practice, put on your note cards, go over daily until it just rolls off your tongue. So the example that I say, and everybody has a different example, the example that I say, personal trainer just automatically comes out, so I decided I have to put that in there. And it adds a little bit of credibility to what I'm talking about too, I think. But I say I'm a personal trainer because that comes out, and then I correct myself, you know, so I just decided I had to add that in there. So Kaylee, if you have to say I'm an engineer first, fine, right? Because that's what I decided I have to do, because personal trainer comes out and I'm like, crap, no, I'm supposed to say something about Juice Plus, right? So I say I'm a personal trainer who's recently partnered with the #1 nutritional products in the world, and you know, I've had that opportunity to do that, and it's been absolutely amazing because it's added a second income to my family, so I don't have to work full-time as a trainer anymore. And the people are like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, my daughter's never been in daycare, and I get to be a stay-at-home mama a little bit with her, and it's just been a great addition. It's very cool. And then they're like, wait, what are the products, right? So what should come out is something that spurs conversation. And it doesn't matter how you word it. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as there's a question mark at the end for somebody to ask a question about.
And the other thing too, to piggyback that is, do you have business cards? We don't always think of the paper stuff anymore because we're so digital, but the power of a business card on you at all times, since we came back from conference and we were in Arizona and we were around Lake Havasu and whatnot, you know, Chip got his business cards and he has them on him all the time now. And I don't know if you want to speak to that, but just the power of, you know, we met a few people that we wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to engage in conversation, but instead Chip's like, hey, you know, well, you say it.
So which one, Tom or the other guy?
The waiter, or who's Tom, the waiter? Yeah.
So we had a opportunity to have a wonderful dinner at the south end of the lake, and there was this gentleman that was serving us that just you could tell it was his joy to serve. He just really enjoyed it. And at the very end, I asked him, I said, so Tom, what else do you do for a living? And he says, well, I like to take care of old people. And I said, well, my wife and I are representatives of a food technology company, and you are exactly the kind of person we're looking for. And he's like, really? Wow, that's fantastic. He handed the business card, and we had the conversation. And he was actually, instead of feeling he's being recruited, he was being complimented. And you can tell that really kind of brightened his evening.
But the whole thing is, you guys, like, I saw Chip do that like 3 times. And yes, we're coming off conference and we're bold and we're feeling powerful and confident in what we do and the mission that we're a part of. But like, who cares? Who cares what, like, you're probably never going to meet that person again unless they say, fun money. There you go.
So that business card arises questions, right?
Love it. Anything on the back? Is it one side?
He has his Juice Plus website
Nice.
on the back, but it doesn't even have to be necessarily like fruits and veggies and stuff, you know, like this business card, when Travis hands it out, they go, what's fun money? We're like, oh, well, that's our side business. And they're like, well, what do you do that you have fun money, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's all about creating curiosity right there.
Yeah.
But, you know, the whole thing is to be bold. Like, if you're an SC, you need to think of yourself as a business builder. That's the mentality. You will always be retailing Juice Plus. That's our mission, is to inspire healthy living and get people healthier. But we're business builders. We're looking for expansion, right? Isn't everyone on this call looking for expansion, right? You want to grow. You want to expand the mission to a bigger group of people. You want to grow your paycheck, and you want to create more options in your life, right? That's what we're about. So, you know, giving people a compliment and saying, you know, and then there were a couple people that we should have done that with after we're like, oh, we should have given our business card to that person. And if they never call you, that's okay. But they're for sure never going to call you if you don't give them your business card, right? That's a 100%. But you never know. Hand it out, give them a compliment. And if there's a need and there's a curiosity, you may get a phone call back, right?
And another thing to ask for is, I don't hand out a business card unless I have their information, usually. That's something that I've learned, because these business cards, although they're cool, I don't know, if you have kids, they end up at the bottom of your purse, in the diaper bag, at the bottom of underneath the seat of your car. I mean, I have more business cards that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to call that person or whatever, right? So there's power in you having their information, so you control the follow-up instead of them, right? So it could just be like a curiosity thing, like 6 months down the road, like, oh crap, I forgot to call them, and they probably forgot about me, and so now it's awkward to call, and so forth, right? Where you'd be happy if they called you 6 months. It wouldn't matter, right? So I usually try and get their information. Oh yeah, you're interested? I'll send you some quick. Are you on Facebook? You know, even if it's Facebook or if it's Voxer or whatever. Hey, I'll text you my information. I don't have a business card on me right now. Shoot, I left it in the car. You know, what's your cell phone number so I can shoot you a text with my info? So that's been pretty powerful for me.
Absolutely. I would say, and that's a huge training tip when you're training new distributors too, is that I think a lot of times we do talk to people and we don't get that information. So if you have had somewhat of a conversation, you've got to walk away with that information, because people have great intentions, you know, and life is crazy. So in their best interest, you want to ask for that information, just like Lindsay, and make it casual. Don't make a big deal about it. Like, oh God, you know, like, what are you mirroring, right? It's like, just, yeah, like Lindsay said. But even if you don't have a conversation, you know, hand out a business card and give someone a compliment. That would be awkward to ask for their information. That's just like, hey, there's a decent chance, or there's a chance, who knows, but it's okay. Better than not handing it.
Or hand out the business card and ask for the information too. Like, yeah, you'd be perfect on the team. Like, we look for people just like you. Here's my card. Would you mind if I sent you some of that information over? Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
Absolutely.
So, do all of the above or one?
Yeah. More activity.
Right.
Well, we are almost out of time, actually. So next week I will go over how to start a new rep.
Perfect.
The list with these guys. Oh, if you want, I can end with this. So I was actually, do you have anything else, Lindsay?
Nope.
Okay. I want to finish. Did you guys see this at conference? Kurt Beaver's new book? Did you buy it? It's amazing. Everybody needs to buy it. It's amazing. So I'm almost through with it because I just had a vacation and I could read. But I want to, this is really an awesome illustration, and I want to read to you this little quick story to finish up with. There's a story of a man who walks into a construction site and sees a guy working and sweating as he lays bricks. The bricklayer is fast and does good work, scooping mortar with his trowel, laying it on top of the wall, then pressing the next brick into place. "What are you doing?" the visitor asks. The bricklayer never takes his eye off the bricks, never looks at the visitor. "Laying bricks," he says. Then he scrapes the excess mortar and repeats, almost machine-like. The visitor moves on and lets him get back to his work. Another worker around the corner appears to be doing the same thing, picking up bricks, scooping mortar, pressing bricks into place, and the visitor asks, "What are you doing?" The bricklayer steps back and motions down the 40-foot-long wall that's now 3 feet high and growing. "I'm building a wall," he says with a note of pride. "Looks nice," the visitor says. "Nice work." "Thank you," he says. The visitor walks around the corner, and a third worker is likewise scooping mortar, placing bricks, and scraping excess mortar. "What are you doing?" the visitor asks. The bricklayer puts down his trowel and motions for the visitor to step back from the work site. "We're building a cathedral," the worker says with a sweep of his hands. Then he describes the handcrafted doors and stained glass windows that will be placed in the wall he's building, the spires and the steeple and the cross that are to come. "I pray with every brick I lay," he says, "for the people and families that will worship in this place." 3 men doing the same exact job. One understood why, and it made all the difference. So isn't that powerful? Kurt Beavers is saying when they first got a vision, and if you don't know the Beavers organization, they're massively successful. They've been around since pretty much the beginning. But that they knew that they were no longer selling, but they were building a business. So a lot of times we get new reps, you guys, who start in this business, and I was this way, so I can relate. But we're so nervous about selling, and I'm not a salesman, and I don't want people to think I'm selling. And to have this vision of what we're building, I just love the illustration, is that, you know, laying the bricks, you know, that's the selling part. That's the credit card transaction. But to step back and understand the bigger picture of what we're doing here from a mission standpoint and the role that we're going to play changing people's health, and then from a business building standpoint of what you are building for your life, and that's his whole thing, is make a life, not just a living. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But, you know, this week, just, you know, try to keep that big picture more in the front of your mind, and not, you know, not the bricklaying, but do the work. We got to lay the bricks, right? We got to lay the bricks. There's lots of bricks in a cathedral, but to understand why and keep close to that why. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's very powerful for sure. So we'll go ahead and stop.